The Middle East and North Africa is already the hottest and driest region on the planet, but climate change could make some areas uninhabitable in the coming decades, with temperatures potentially reaching 60 degrees Celsius or higher. The repercussions throughout the Middle East and North Africa region would be devastating, including chronic water shortages, the inability to grow food because of extreme weather and resulting drought, and a surge in heat-related deaths and health problems. By 2100, about 600 million inhabitants, or 50% of the population of the region, may be exposed to super extreme weather events if current greenhouse gas projections hold. A study says that lasting weeks for even months, the scorching heat would be potentially life-threatening for humans. Lead author of the study, George Zitis, said a higher humidity from increased evaporation of the surrounding areas will increase the danger. And Director, Global NGO Executive Committee, Ambassador Olasumbomi Iginla-Aina, MBE, joins me in the studio to discuss this. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you.
So, some parts of the Middle East and North Africa are already the hottest regions around the world. What would a temperature of as high as 60 degrees Celsius mean for that region?
Even 40 degrees is something else already. So unfortunately, I would like to say that everywhere is caught up in this mess. And I actually don't know how we're going to get out of this. It's really a complete mess. And what we need to do, from the look of things, is that we all have to put all our hands on deck. Everybody must be involved to ensure that this 60 degrees is outrageous. It must not come to pass. It is I cannot imagine it, but scientists are saying that there is a likelihood that this would happen to the earth. So we really need to do something very fast. And I thank God for the COP26 that is ongoing. Though there are discussions going on, and we're optimistic that all the outcomes would at least be feasible and achievable. Okay.
But talking about the COP26, are we on track to mitigate all of this? Because we see that a lot of pledges have been made towards, we've heard about the net zero carbon emissions by 2050. There are also pledges being made towards 2030. And like you rightly noted, this is not just for the Middle East and North Africa alone. This is a general problem.
Absolutely.
So are we on track to mitigate the impact of climate change?
I don't think so. I don't think so in many senses, because take, for example, Nigeria, where we are now. The prices of gas is really skyrocketing, and fortunately, a lot of people have decided to leave firewood, the charcoals, to begin to use gas to cook their food. And now that that is happening, that we want to embrace that. Unfortunately, they don't have enough funds to even afford the gas that they want to use to cook their food, and we cannot stop them from using any other means to achieving that aim. So if that is happening here, several other things are happening cut across the world that are really not in line, aligning to the objectives of COP26. And it is high time that government began to understand that it is not about the blah, blah, blah that is going on. It's not about you saying that you want to do this. It is time for all of us to start acting, and we have to act now.
And in terms of acting now, people have actually talked about adaptation, because really this also has impact on electricity. If nothing is done, it has impact, really gross impact on agriculture, where it impacts on food production, and then we have food insecurity that leads to crisis, because everyone is fighting and just fighting over the scarce resources. What do we do in terms of adaptation? Where do we begin?
Where do we begin with adaptation? Well, I think that one of the solutions actually is for us to now begin to adapt in our own various ways, because adaptation to different countries means different things. And I think that the government of the world now, they need to look more into bringing out policies that will work properly for the people of their own individual nations, and also help them and sustain them in a way that it becomes not only a talk talk about, it becomes something that everybody is helping everybody to achieve our objectives. I'll give you an example. It's not about the North, it's not about the MENA, that's the Middle East and the North Africa alone. If you look at Mozambique, if you look at Malawi, if you look at even the, these are not.
They've experienced a drought for some years now.
They're experiencing a kind of drought that they have never experienced in 70 years. So this is. It's a problem for everybody, and we all need to do something that would really mean that we are going out of our way to ensure that we see a change. For example, during the COVID period, there was drastic reduction in the greenhouse gas emission. There was drastic
because of the lockdown.
Because of the lockdown, one would begin to say that fine, even though COVID-19 was negative to the economy, negative in every sense, there is a plus. If you look at the climate, the greenhouse emission during the period, it became lower. So I began to think even this morning that could it be that may be one of the solutions? Can we begin to adapt some of the solutions we adapted during the COVID-19?
Right. It's a salient point you made earlier when you said every country has to find its problem, because for some it's flooding, for some it's earthquake, for some it's drought. We'll see the kind of commitments and watch out for implementation from leaders. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. Director of Global NGO Executive Committee, Ambassador Olasumbomi Iginla-Aina, MBE. Thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome.